Hello, welcome to the Christian Bachgalupi Show. You already know the deal. If you don't, yada yada. I do work on something on Sunday nights and head home pretty late Monday morning. Okay, let's get into. I guess I was wanting to say, let's get into this. Like, who says that? Brandon Tatum, I think. And again, if you're new to this, you can listen to both sides. It's okay. This idea that don't even let them speak their opinion. That is craziness. It definitely happens on both sides, but it definitely happens more on one side. And I don't like calling them out. You can figure it out. It's like, but see, here's the thing. I'm afraid to call people out because then people think I'm biased, which I'm not. I'm independent. I'm not Republican or Democrat. I don't even like the way our voting system is now. I'm not talking about electoral college. I'm talking more about primaries and how I think everybody who wants to run, if you get enough signatures that you're supposed to get, you get on the primary ballot, and then everyone votes for as many of these primary candidates as they want. Yes or no, pretty much. Or really, it's like just mark off the ones you're willing to see in the general election. And then, the top two, it's just between those two. And then the country can be like, that guy, or that girl, or not that guy, or not that girl. Because, there's the never this person or never but that person. So anyway, I went on a tangent there. But back to what I was saying about, like, being careful about sounding biased. But there's reasons everything I do and say and think. I'm not just like, oh, I watch this news network all the time and I do what they tell me. Because really, I barely watch network news. And when I do, it's because I'm at like a Sheetz getting something to eat and it's up on the screen, CNN or Fox or I don't know if MSNBC is ever on there or one of those. There's different Sheets. Anywho, yeah, I listen to every side, just one side. Oh, it's funny. All right, let's sound biased. Screw it. I was very, very 50-50 with who I voted for. And then, oddly enough, watching MSNBC during the Olympics turned me off of the Democratic Party. Like the stuff, and it was Rachel Maddow. I'll call her out. A lot of it was her and her commercials. Because what she was saying was obvious, like, bias spin. And at the time, she was, this was like 2010? No, it had been like 2012 or 2008. She's still very young and attractive, and I was very much a simp. I was like, I'm going to listen to what she says, because she's attractive. She used to have like long hair, right? And then she was like, people don't take me seriously, so I gotta cut it short. Even though I think there's a lot of women who's attractive with short hair. Anyway, her commercials were pretty much, her trying to turn people off of Republicans. And it turned me off of Democrats. Not 100% though. But like, and a lot of fellow independent people have noticed it. Like the Democrats are getting farther, seem to, but in other ways they're not, seem to be getting farther away from the middle. And it's like, well, I'm trying to meet you in the middle, but you're way over there. And, there's like Bernie Sanders. I was actually into Bernie at first. I was like, ooh, if Bernie or Trump wins, I think that would help the chances of a third-party candidate or a third-party or just independent candidates having a shot. Because I realized both parties weren't a fan of either candidate, but the people of the parties were. So that it might be a thing where they get elected, or even if they didn't get elected, if they went and ran as a third party, they'd have a decent chance. If Bernie ran as a third party candidate, it'd be very interesting to see what this race would look like. If Trump hadn't won the primaries, and he ran, back in 2016, and he ran as a third party candidate. But I thought, like, there was a possibility that if either two won, the party would somehow shove them out. And when I say party, I mean like the people up top. We've seen how they work. Like they do that ploy where like, hey, this guy has a lot of support, but he doesn't have a majority of support. So if we just go with one candidate, that one candidate could beat him. And it didn't work with Trump. It's worked with Bernie. They've taken care of him this past year. And then, the year before. They admitted, like Debbie Wasserman Schultz, they caught her in the act. And, no one disavowed it. Or no one, denied it. And then, what move does Hillary make? She puts her on her campaign staff. How does that even make sense? How are you going to be like, oh, I'm fair election, but Debbie Wasserman Schultz helped us screw Bernie and make it unfair. So, I'm going to add her to my campaign staff. What, like, do you see what I mean? Do you see what turns me off of the Democratic Party? Like, and then Bernie, instead of sticking up for himself, he takes one for the team, which, I mean, respect for that. But come on, like, dude's got enough support, he could, do something, but he's also doing a pretty good job of helping the Democrat Party go to the left even farther away from the middle where I'm at. I'm like, hey, I would like to consider you an option. And they're like, okay, come over here. I'm like, no. Dang, I had something to transition to. Only a minute left. Man, Tuesday's crazy. So Monday, back-to-back news, I'm going to try to put out as much stuff about, election truth. Just facts. Just put facts out there. Try to get facts for both people, both parties, even third-party candidates. And if you have any suggestions, send them. And also, I'm going to the store and stocking up on stuff. And then I might go Tuesday to stock up on stuff and then go vote. Because who knows what the flip's going to happen. I mean, where I live isn't kind of place where I would expect a riot. I mean, we had a Black Lives Matter protest, and it was the sweetest thing. It was fine. No issues. They protested like protests should be. You're not pissing people off, blocking the streets. And that goes for any party or side who, we're going over. Because this stuff is important. So like, any party or group that does these in the streets, get in my way while I'm trying to drive mess, no. That's inappropriate. And you shouldn't be taking both sides of the sidewalk. Because if I want to walk around your freaking protest or whatever, I should have the option. I see your message. Pissing people off it doesn't help. To a degree. Now you gotta compare it to like Martin Luther King. Like what he's terrible. MLK did was legal. It was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. It wasn't illegal protest, because everything's got to be freaking over. The government's got to be involved in everything. Like one of the cities I hang out with, like you can't even use a lot of public parks unless you have a waiver. The counties, the city's cool, but like then other places you can like go use the freaking school field. That's all good. But anyway, the difference is there's protests that go on, and then the government that are being done illegally or in an illegal form, and the government's just like, whatever. And then you look at what Martin Luther King did. Everything he did was legal, I think. If I'm wrong, post, comment, an example. But like the restaurant sit-ins, you were allowed to sit in a restaurant for 15 minutes without ordering anything. And they didn't really have the option to order anything because they wouldn't be served. But that's what they did. They went in, sat there 15 minutes, and then left, and then more people came in. That was perfectly legal. Yeah, it probably pissed people off, but they were doing everything legally, and it wasn't pissing off the average Joe Blow walking by. It might have pissed people off who were trying to go in there to eat, but, that's not keeping people from getting to their jobs or the hospital. Let's go for 15 minutes. Screw it. Important. This show and tomorrow's show. Yeah. So, I've been very good on Facebook not to start Itch with friends or family. But they started some... it wasn't, terrible, but, I don't post stuff to shoot down the malarkey you say on your post. Why are you jumping on my comment on a post that you're not even, on a page you don't even follow? And if you do, I don't want to, assumptions, but I wouldn't be surprised if they follow just so they could make a comment. But, consequences. Holy crap, consequences. So straight up, I'm going to vote for Trump. I don't think he's racist. I think that's some bullcrap the media painted. I think he's did a very good job. COVID, I don't know. Because I haven't heard anything about what he should have done different. He shouldn't have played it down? Okay. But he had a good reason. He's trying not to panic the public. Because you know what happens when you panic the public? No one has toilet paper! And I need to look up this might be a thing, one of the stories. I gotta look up all the stuff about masks. Because I keep hearing how, despite one side saying it's not a sure thing about whether you should or shouldn't wear a mask. So I'd like to look that up. The worst part about looking things up nowadays online, you gotta find multiple sources and make sure at least one of them's not biased. So anyway, yeah. Remember, research before you vote. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, all that other fun stuff. Peace.